Hello guys, welcome to Aviation Legislator. Today we will talk about CRM subpart B. Okay, before we get into subpart B, that is the accountability, I want to tell you something about CRM. Okay, so CRM is divided into two sections. One section is for DGCA itself, that is section B. Okay, another section is for operators, CAMO, maintenance organization who will keep the aircraft in a continuing airworthiness state. Okay, they should follow the CRM section A requirements to keep that aircraft in a continuing airworthiness. But what are the requirements that is defined in section B for DGCA? Because these requirements are for DGCA, because DGCA through this requirement monitor the CAMO operator or owner or maintenance organizations. They are properly complying the section A requirements or not. Another thing, if during compliance an operator or an CAMO or maintenance organization or any person, okay, who are responsible for maintaining the aircraft in a continuing airworthiness state, if they face any problem during compliance of section A requirement, so there should be a procedure, there should be a authority who should give a proper solution to these organizations, or there should be a procedure. That procedure for DGCA, how DGCA give solutions to these organizations if these organizations face any problem during compliance of section A. So that procedure is defined in section B for DGCA itself. But now these days, this section B procedures for DGCA is shifted to airworthiness procedure manual. Airworthiness procedure manual. In airworthiness procedure manual, there are lot of chapters. In chapter 3A, you will get the CRM section B DGCA procedures. Okay, CRM section B DGCA procedure are given in APM chapter 3A, airworthiness procedure manual chapter 3A. Okay, now we will talk about section A requirement. Section A is divided into subpart A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Okay, from subpart A to subpart I. Section A requirement of CRM is divided into subparts. Okay, subpart A is general. There is nothing, that only tells you, explains you about how to keep your aircraft in 2 to 3 lines. That is only an introductory part. Okay, on the basis of requirements subject, I divided these subparts which are relates to maintenance organization and which are relates to continuing airworthiness. The subparts which are relates to continuing airworthiness, those are subpart B, subpart C, subpart G, subpart H. Okay, subpart B is about responsibilities of the organization's operators, owners. Okay, subpart C is the continuing airworthiness task, continuing airworthiness principles defined in this subpart. Another subpart is subpart G. How the continuing airworthiness principles, continuing airworthiness tasks implemented on aircraft, in which way, how continuing airworthiness principles are implemented on aircraft, complied by the owners or operators or maintenance organizations or not, that is monitored by CAMO. So how CAMO approves, that is under subpart B. So approval procedures for CAMO is defined in subpart B. What CAMO doing? CAMO is doing monitor work. Okay, monitor work. What monitors? CAMO monitors continuing airworthiness of aircraft is com- properly maintained or not. Okay, and last thing is, every aircraft should be airworthiness reviewed in each year, and for that aircraft an airworthiness review certificate must be issued. Okay, Upon this airworthiness review certificate, your aircraft's certificate of airworthiness directly depends. If your airworthiness review certificate is not valid, then your certificate of airworthiness also automatically cancels itself. Okay. So in this way, which are the these are the subparts. Subpart B, C, G, H. These relates to containing airworthiness directly. So I separated these subparts. Another subpart, subpart D, maintenance standard, subpart E, components, subpart F, approved maintenance organization procedures, subpart H, certificate of release to service. These four subparts are related directly to maintenance organization. That's why I separated subparts in this way. Today, I will talk about only accountability, that is in subpart B. Accountability is nothing, that's only the distribution of responsibility to different persons and different organization who are keeping your aircraft in a continuing airworthiness state. Okay, so here subpart B is accountability, that is the distribution of your responsibilities. In each subpart you will get some requirement that is defined in some deeply in AMC and guidance material. Okay, if you understand the requirement section properly, what is the requirement properly, if you understand, you will understand AMC and guidance material properly. Okay, now we should start subpart B, accountability. Thus in subpart B, this M stands for management, SERM, and this A stands for specifies for section A, and this 201 matlab 201 means 201 specifies this M specifies indicates CRM, this indicates A indicates section A, this 200 series indicates the second subpart of section A. The first subpart is 100 series, the second subpart B indicates second B means second. Okay, that's why it is 200 series. Responsibilities in this subpart, responsibility is the first topic, that's why it indicates 201. Okay, so in this way these are coded MA201. If it is written MB201, then you should remember that this is not for you, this is for DGCA. If here I add in place of A, if I write B MB201, that means MB201 responsibility is for DGC officers. These requirements relates to DGC officer, not for other than DGCA persons. Okay, so you should memorize MA201 means this is for owners, operators, CMOs, or maintenance organization or anybody. So for maintenance organization or CMOs, which section is applicable? A. That's why you are studying MA. Okay, topics. So M indicates CRM management, A indicates section A requirements, 200 means according to your subpart this number is given. So in this subpart we will study responsibilities. Now here mentioned owner. Owner means a person who owns a aircraft. A person who is having an aircraft for his or her personal purpose. That's why here we talk owner. Okay, a owner is responsible. In this subpart you get only responsibilities, nothing else. Nothing you will get in this subpart, you will get only responsibility. If you study this subpart in CRM, you will get only responsibility. DGCA explains only responsibilities. If you understand this subpart, if you want to study this subpart properly, you should memorize, you should remember in your mind during studying. DGCA tells you only about responsibility of owner, responsibility operator, responsibility of continuing airworthiness management organization, responsibility of maintenance organization. Now we will talk responsibility of owner. A owner is responsible for continuing airworthiness of his or her aircraft. If a owner is having aircraft, then that aircraft's continuing airworthiness responsibility is owner. Owner's responsibility is to keep that aircraft in a continuing airworthiness. Owner is overall responsible. Another thing is owner should ensure no flight takes place, or before flight an aircraft is maintained in airworthy condition. Means a maintenance organization should properly maintain that aircraft in a airworthy condition. Another thing, notice here and is written. Okay, here and indicates means all the four conditions that owner should ensure before flight. First condition is that aircraft should be maintained in a airworthy condition by a maintenance organization. This is the responsibility of owner. Another thing, all the operational and emergency equipment fitted in that aircraft should be work function in a correct way, should be installed in that aircraft in a proper way, in a correct way. All the operational and emergency equipment should properly work, properly function. If any equipment if any equipment not working properly, means that is unserviceable. If any equipment is unserviceable, if that is not identified, then also it is not permitted to fly that aircraft. This is the responsibility of owner. Okay, how you will fly if some aircrafts emergency equipment or operational equipments are unserviceable. After that also you want to fly, how you will fly? You will fly through MEL. Okay, you will fly through MEL. Okay, you studied this chapter in series B of section 2. Okay, so this is the second responsibility. Any operational or emergency equipment fitted in that aircraft should correctly function. If not functions, if that is unserviceable, that should be clearly identified. Okay, this is ensured by owner. Okay, this is the owner's responsibility. First one is to keep that aircraft in a airworthy condition by maintaining that aircraft by a proper maintenance organization. Another condition is operational and equipment. Emergency equipment should work properly, function properly, and installed in a proper way. Third responsibility of the owner is that aircraft before takeoff, that aircraft must have a valid certificate of airworthiness or airworthiness certificate. Before takeoff, that aircraft must have valid airworthiness certificate or certificate of airworthiness. Where you will study about certificate of airworthiness? You will study about certificate of airworthiness in CAR section 2 series F part 3. Section 2 series F part 3. Okay, so third responsibilities of the owner is the aircraft must have a valid COFA before takeoff. Okay, the fourth task is maintenance of the aircraft in accordance with approved maintenance programming. This is very important thing. Okay, you should remember this. we will study in depth about maintenance programming. Every aircraft in India maintained by any type of maintenance organization that should be maintained in accordance with maintenance programming. If an aircraft is not having maintenance programming, approved maintenance programming, then that aircraft should not be maintained by non-standard persons or non-standard maintenance organizations. Okay, every aircraft must have approved maintenance programming. In accordance with that approved maintenance programming, that maintenance organization should maintain that aircraft. Okay, in subpart C, we will study about maintenance programming in detail. So here are four tasks. One is that aircraft should be in a airworthy condition. Another one is operational and equipment, emergency equipment and operational equipment should properly fitted and should work properly. If not working any equipment, then that should be identified properly. Another one is COFA should be valid COFA, that aircraft must have a valid COFA. And fourth one is aircraft should be maintained in accordance with approved maintenance programming. These four tasks responsibility is given to owner. Okay, so actually this is there are five conditions here. One is continuing airworthiness. The continuing airworthiness of the aircraft is the responsibility of the owner. This is the first condition. Another one is aircraft is maintained properly in airworthy condition. Third one is operational and emergency equipment pro- properly fitted and work properly. And fourth one is airworthiness certificate. And fifth one is maintenance of the aircraft in accordance with maintenance programming. If you replace if you replace this owner word with operator, okay, if you replace this owner word with operator, the same four tasks are applicable for operator also. Okay, this is the responsibility of owner or operator for a aircraft. For a aircraft, owner or operator is ultimately overall responsible for containing airworthiness of his or her aircraft. Operators, aircraft owners, aircraft. Second thing, if that owner gives his or her aircraft on lease to someone else, some other person, on basis of some lease agreement or basis of lease contract, on basis of lease agreement or on basis of lease contract, if that owner gives his or her aircraft to another person, then these four responsibilities are transferred directly to that leasing person who are taking that aircraft. Okay, that is leasee. That should be mentioned on that document. Okay, so if you are using an aircraft, you are the owner, then you should take these four responsibilities, and continuing airworthiness responsibility also included in these four conditions. Okay, if you are giving this your aircraft to any other person on the basis of some agreement, on the basis of some lease agreement, you should transfer these responsibility to the leasing person. Okay, if you understand these 4 points, you will understand total subpart. Okay, another thing, any person or organization performing maintenance on your aircraft, then for that maintenance task, those are performed by that person or organization. For those maintenance tasks, the responsibility of that maintenance task should be taken by that person or organization. That means if you are maintaining an aircraft, you are doing some maintenance task on aircraft, then you are the responsible. You should take that responsibilities of doing those tasks on that aircraft. Okay. So here is a question. So if someone is completing some maintenance task on an aircraft, whose responsibility to take to complete those tasks on an aircraft? That is the person or organization performing those maintenance tasks on that aircraft. Okay, that person or organization performing maintenance on that aircraft, that person should be responsible for those tasks, because you are having the license on that on the basis of that license, that person or organization responsible for those tasks, which tasks performed by him or herself. Okay, another thing, the pilot in command, or in the case of schedule 11 air operators, schedule 11 approved air operators, generally you can also call these operators as a commercial air transport operators. Okay, there are different type of operators. We will talk about operators in next lesson, but in this chapter we are talking about only responsibility. Okay, the pilot in command, or in the case of schedule 11 approved operators, the operator, generally the pilot in command, or in the case of commercial air transport operator, the responsible operator is responsible for what? For accomplishment of pre-flight inspection. Okay, the responsibility of the pre-flight inspection is given to pilot in command, but in the case of schedule 11 approved commercial air transport operator, the responsibility is given to operator. Okay, so in this subpart we studied only this much. What? The responsibility of the continuing airworthiness of an aircraft is given to owner or operator. Another, these four conditions are given to owner or operator. If that owner transfers these four his or her aircraft, then these four conditions are transfer directly transferred to that person who are taking that aircraft for use. Okay, another thing, who are completing any task on an aircraft, any maintenance task on aircraft, any person or any organization, if performing any maintenance, shall be the responsible for those tasks. Okay, another thing, the pilot in command is responsible for pre-flight inspection of aircraft, but in the case of schedule 11 approved operator, schedule 11 approved commercial air transport operator, the responsibility is given to operator. Okay, here I mentioned DGCA is the competent authority for this year. DGCA distributed these responsibilities in this subpart. In this subpart B, to owner, operator, KMO, and approved maintenance group organization. Okay, so we studied about responsibility of owner or operator. Okay, we study in depth many other responsibility of operator and KMO and maintenance organization in depth in next class. Okay, we just only studied the responsibility of owner and responsibility of the maintenance organization or persons who are completing maintenance tasks on aircraft. They are only responsible for their maintenance tasks, whatever the maintenance task they are completing on aircraft. And the last one is we studied about pilot in command, who is responsible for pre-flight inspection. Okay, in the case of schedule 11, in the case of schedule 11 operator, schedule 11, in the case of schedule 11 air operators, the operator is responsible for accomplishment of pre-flight inspection. Simple thing. In any case, normal generally pilot in command is responsible for pre-flight inspection. But in the case of commercial air transport, the operator is responsible for pre-flight inspection. Okay. For today, this much is sufficient. Thank you.